Hello students, welcome to your English class. Hope you all are doing well. In today's class, we are going to learn lesson number 3, homesickness textbook exercises. This is the index of what we are going to learn. Grammar and usage, words in use, speaking and writing. Grammar and usage. Adjectives. Adjectives are describing words that describe about a noun or they modify the noun. They tell us about the color, sound, feel, amount, behavior, size of a noun. What is a participle? A word formed from a verb. It can be used as an adjective. A word formed from a verb, it can be used as an adjective. For example, burn. Burn is a verb. We are adding ed to this. When we add ed or ing to the verb, it becomes like an adjective participle. It is called as adjective participle. One more example. Work is a verb. What did I add here? I added ing to the base verb word work. So it has become working. So when I add ing or ed to the verb, it changes as adjective, participle adjective. Okay? Or it can be used as a noun. Example, good breeding. Sometimes they appear as a part of a phrase. Is going, has been. Types of participle adjectives. Children, there are two types of participle adjectives. Present participle adjectives that end with ing. The adjectives, the verb, when we add ing to that, it becomes participle adjective. When we add ing to that, then it becomes present participle adjective. For example, boring, exhausting, exciting, surprising, confusing, embarrassing. Next, the other type is past participle adjectives. These adjectives, participle adjectives, end with ed. Okay, they end with ed. For example, bored, exhausted, excited, surprised, confused, embarrassed. Based on that adjective participle, we have an exercise here in textbook page number 25. Complete these sentences with the correct forms of the base verbs in the brackets. They gave base verb in the bracket. We have to make necessary changes to the verb and we have to complete this exercise. Next, we are going to learn now about a clause. Children, do you know what is a clause? Clause is a group of words, related words with a subject and a verb. What is a subject? About what we talk in the sentence is called as a subject. What is a verb? An action or a doing word is called as a verb. So, a clause can be a complete sentence or it can be a part of a sentence. If it is a complete sentence, then it is called as a independent clause. That means it can stand alone as a complete sentence. If it is a part of a sentence, then it is called as a dependent clause. That means incomplete thought, unable to stand alone. If it is complete, then it is called as an independent clause. If it is incomplete, then it is called as dependent clause. What is a relative clause? Children, we use relative clause to give more information about something. What is that something? It is a noun. To give more information about places, people, animals, things, we use relative clause. What is a relative pronoun? What is the need of learning relative pronoun? The role of relative pronoun is that Relative pronouns take the place of nouns or pronouns. They are called relative pronouns because they always relate back to something or someone else. They are used to join two sentences about the same person or thing. Is it clear? We use relative pronouns so that we can frame relative clause. Okay, some relative pronouns are who, whose, whom, which, that. You can see the rule to use this, and you can also see the examples here. This is the man who broke the window. She knew the family whose house we bought. They have found the lady whom they want to interview. My precious blue lamp which was in the room was broken. The lamp that was in the room was broken. You can see that relative pronouns are helping us to frame relative clause. What is an adjective clause? An adjective clause is used to describe a noun. For example, the car which was blue belonged to Ethel. See here, there is a rule. A relative pronoun is usually used to introduce an adjective clause. We also use relative pronoun to form an adjective clause. For example, Pablo, who is an English teacher, lives in Sarapique. Okay, so you can see that relative pronoun will help us to introduce an adjective clause. What is a noun? Nouns are words that are used to name an animal, person, idea, place, or thing. For example, apple, camera, sheep, Eiffel Tower. Let us now learn about what is a phrase. The definition of phrase is: a phrase is a group of words which make sense but not a complete sense. Examples: on the roof, in the backyard, at midnight. So these are the examples of phrase. What is a noun phrase? Noun. Just now we have discussed about what is a noun. That names person, place, animal or thing. But what is a noun phrase? A noun and any words in the sentence that will modify the noun. Words that can modify nouns, they include articles a, and, the, or we can also use adjectives. See the examples. Dog. If I say dog, then it is a noun. If I say the brown dog, then it is called as a noun phrase. We are using the article to modify the noun here. The is a article. So you can see that it has changed. The noun is now changed to noun phrase. Another example, the large brown dog. The intimidating large brown dog. We are describing the dog in more detail. We are using an adjective. So it's called as a noun phrase. We have an exercise in textbook. Refer page number 26. Point out the relative clause in each sentence and the noun or the noun phrase it qualifies. Remember that a relative clause can also come in the middle of a sentence. Either it will come at the beginning or in the middle of the sentence. Please read the sentence and make out. You should find out what is the relative clause or what is a noun or noun phrase in these sentences. Please go through this exercise. Next, we have another exercise on page number 26 in the textbook. What you have to do is, you have to combine each pair of sentences by changing one of them into relative clause. Let us look into the first one. This is the new comedy. It was released last week. Now, there are two sentences given here. Using the relative pronoun, I am going to change these two sentences and make it into a one sentence. There is a clue also given here. you have to begin the sentence with this is, and you have to use a relative pronoun which and ending with last week. So the answer for this first one is, this is the new comedy which was released last week. Similarly, you have to follow the clues and complete this exercise. Next, we have words in use. Children, what is a collocation? Collocation can be defined as a familiar grouping of words. Okay? Familiar words, the two words that go together, especially words that habitually appear together and thereby convey meaning by association. See, when you combine two different words, two familiar words into one, then those words are called as collocations. Now we have a combination of adjective plus nouns. Adjectives and nouns can have a particular collocation to convey a specific meaning. We form adjectives and noun collocations by putting adjectives where we have to put before the nouns. Here are some examples. New generation, nasty shock, nasty habit, natural disaster, natural resources, native speaker, nice time, old age. These are some of the examples of adjective nouns. See, there is an exercise given in test book on page number 27. What you have to do? You have to match each of the words in column B. You have to read the words in column B and you have to join them to column A, and then you have to join column B to column C. Okay? See this first one. Sound, reasons, bright, lights, close quarters, common practice, stock, reply, severe infection. So what did I do here? First, I read the words from B column to join to A column. Now similarly, we have to take B column and join to C column. Sound, advice, bright, idea, close, attention, common, knowledge, stock, phrase, severe, punishment. So you can see here that these are all the collocation. Now there is another exercise given in the test book, page number 27. What you have to do here? You have to make sentences using the collocations from B and C. See the first one. Write how Dr. Dunbar helped the speaker. You have to use the above collocations and you have to complete this exercise. So what is the answer for the first one? He gave the speaker some sound advice. So what is the collocation in this sentence? The collocation is sound advice. Similarly, please go through the rest of the sentences. Next, speaking. See, there are some exercises. If you keep on practicing, you can improve your speaking skills. Here we have personal experience. Refer test book, page number 27. There is a sentence given here. I promise I'll never do it again. This sentence we have seen in the lesson. So what you have to do? Talk about a time when you said these words. You can use these hints. There are some hints given here. You have to talk about when you use these words. The above words which are highlighted in pink color. I promise I'll never do it again. So now let us read the hints. Did you say this to yourself or someone else? Why did you say this? What had happened before this? What did you do? Who else was involved? Did you keep your promise? What did you learn from the experience? So this is the exercise which will help you to improve your speaking skills. Next, now we are going to learn writing. In writing, we are going to learn how to write a letter. First, let us see what is a letter. Letter is a written message. We write a letter to persons who are far away from us. We want to convey a message to people in a clear manner. There are types of letters: formal letters, semi-formal letters, informal letters, and form letters. These are the types of letters. In today's class, we are going to learn about semi-formal letters, which is there in our textbook. So we should know what is a semi-formal letter. We write semi-formal letters to people that we do not know very well. Compare some expressions of informal and semi-formal letters. So informal: I am sorry, but I can't come on Friday night. How you can write it in semi-formal? I am afraid I won't be able to come on Friday in the evening. One more sentence which will help you to differentiate informal and semi-formal. I didn't like the food. So how you can write that in semi-formal way? I was dissatisfied with the food. So semi-formal letter will not consider as a formal or informal. You add both the qualities of formal and informal in a semi-formal letter. Is it clear? Children, this is the format of writing semi-formal letter. As always, we should start everything from the left side. Okay, please refer this format. There is an exercise in textbook, page number 28. After returning to his school, the speaker decides to write a letter to Dr. Dunbar, thanking him for his help. Complete the letter. You can include these points. So the speaker, after he returns back to his school, he wants to write a thanking letter to Dr. Dunbar. So he use all these points. You can use all these points to write a semi-formal letter. Realize that he cannot pull off something similar again. Thought about what Dr. Dunbar said about being brave. Told his mother about what he had done. Settling down better at school. So these are some of the points you have to include when you are writing a semi-formal letter. I hope you have understood all the textbook exercises. Thank you, children.